What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So, like every Monday, we're going to go over the direction of the country. We're going to take a look at some of the polling, and the polling is really starting to change. And I'm going to show you what I mean, especially when it comes to the direction of the country. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. And one more thing, if you guys want to send me an email, if you guys want me to talk about a certain topic, send me that email, david@thetecshow.com. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the latest polling. First thing I like to start off with is the job approval. So President Trump's job approval. And we'll take a look. This is Real Clear Politics. So this is an average. So it's an aggregate of the polls. So it's not just one poll. We're looking at all the different polls that are out there right now. And then we're looking at the Real Clear Politics average of those polls. And so if we look at the top right corner there, we see the spread is minus 3.7. That's a job approval. And so we have disapproval here of 50.5% and then approval of 46.8%. Now let's look at some of the latest polls. So we have Rasmussen here. Rasmussen, this was conducted between 413 and 417. We have 1,500 likely voters. We have 51% approve, 47% disapprove. So Rasmussen is actually showing Trump with an approval rating that's higher than his disapproval. So that's +4. Looking at the Economist YouGov poll, this was conducted between 413 and 415, 1,329 registered voters. We have 45% approval, 53% disapproval, and that's -8. And as you see, this is pretty much all over the board. So we have the Daily Mail. We have, this was conducted between 410 and 414, 1,002 registered voters. We have approval of 54%, disapproval of 46%, and the spread is +8. Looking at Atlas Intel, this was conducted between 410 and 414, 2,347 adults. We have approval of 46, disapproval of 52, the spread -6. And we'll look at a couple more here. We have RMG Research. We have, this is conducted between 409 and 416, 3,000 registered voters, 48% approve, 51% disapprove. The spread there is -3. And then we'll take a look at one more CNBC poll. This was conducted between 409, 413. We have 1,000 adults. We have 44% approve, 51% disapprove. The spread there is -7. So overall job approval for Trump, we see if we go down here, we'll see what's going on here. So you see it's kind of, they're separating here, but now they're converging just a little bit. And so the top line here, this is disapproval and this is approval. And you see at some point right here, this is when it converged, and that happened in March. And so we're seeing them spread apart. We'll have to see if they continue to spread apart, but we do see this little sign here that they're starting to go back in. So we'll have to see when it comes to job approval. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and that is impacting the way people feel about how President Trump is doing. Okay, so let's look at the economy. And just looking at the economy here, this will show us how people are feeling about the direction of the country. And then at the very end, I'll show you the actual direction of the country. So we have Real Clear Politics at -11.1. And so we have a disapproval of 53.9 and then an approval of 42.8. So that's that spread, -11.1, which is really, really high. Now let's take a look at some of the individual polling here. We have the Economist YouGov poll. This was conducted between 413 and 415. We have 1,329 registered voters. We have approval of 45, disapproval of 51. The spread there is -6. Now looking at the CNBC poll, this was conducted between 409 and 413, 1,000 adults. We have 43% approve, 55% disapprove. The spread there is -12. Looking at the Harvard-Harris poll, This was conducted between 4/9 and 4/10. We have 2,286 registered voters, 43% approve, 57% disapprove, minus 14. We'll take a look at a couple more. CBS poll. This was conducted between 4/8 and 4/11. 2,410 adults. We have 44% approve, 56% disapprove, and we have a spread of minus 12. And we'll do one last one here. Harris X poll. This was conducted between 4/4 and 4/7. We have 1,883 registered voters, 44% approve, 56% disapprove, and we have minus 12. So right now, when it comes to the economy and how people feel about the economy and how President Trump is doing, they don't feel very good about it. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward here. I want to take a look at inflation. So we're looking at Real Clear Politics. Their average is showing us at minus 15.7. So you have 56.8 disapprove, and then you have 41.1 approve. Let's look at some of the individual polling. So we're looking at the Economist YouGov poll. This was conducted between 4/13 and 4/15. 1,329 registered voters, 42% approve, 55% disapprove. The spread there is minus 13. Looking at CNBC, that was conducted between 4/9 and 4/13. 1,000 adults, 37% approve, 60% disapprove. Wow, that's a minus 23. And then looking at the Harvard-Harris poll, this was conducted between 4/9 and 4/10. 2,286 registered voters. We have 41% approve, 59% disapprove. And then we'll look at a couple more here. CBS News. This was conducted between 4/8 and 4/11. 2,410 adults. We have 40% approve, 60% disapprove. The spread there is minus 20. The spread right above was minus 18. I don't think I went over that one. And then one more here. We have the Harris X poll. This was conducted between 4/4 and 4/7. 1,883 registered voters, 43% approve, 57% disapprove. The spread there is minus 14. So when it comes to inflation and the economy, we're looking at a situation where Trump is not doing well at all. But there is one poll, one category that he is doing well. We're going to take a look at that one right now. So when it comes to immigration, that is where Trump is shining right now. He is showing plus 5.1, and that's approval. And so we look at disapprove, it's 45.8. And then we look at approval, it's 50.9. And so looking at some of the latest polling, we have the Harvard-Harris poll. This was conducted between 4/9 and 4/10. 2,286 registered voters. We have 51% approve, 49% disapprove. And the spread there is plus 2. Now looking at the CBS News poll, this was conducted between 4/8 and 4/11. 2,410 adults. We have 50% approve, 50% disapprove. So that's a tie. Looking at the Economist YouGov poll, this was conducted between 4/5 and 4/8. 1,563 registered voters. Approval, 51%. Disapproval, 46%. Spread is plus 5. Looking at the Quinnipiac, this was conducted between 4/3 and 4/7. 1,407 registered voters. We have approval of 45, disapproval of 50. So this one is one that is showing unfavorable when it comes to immigration. And so just doing a brief overview of the latest polling here, you see that Trump, his job approval when it comes to immigration is it's good. Now, we are starting to see a pattern develop here. So this was back in March. So back in March, we were looking at plus 12, plus 12, plus 5, plus 4. And then we get to this point here where we're seeing a minus 5. And like we said, that minus 5 is a disapproval. And then we see a plus 5 here. Then we see a tie. And so it does look like we're starting to move closer to a disapproval when it comes to immigration. So we'll have to keep following that and see where it goes. But right now, when it comes to polling, immigration is one poll that Trump is still showing favorability. Okay, so the final one that I want to take a look at is the direction of the country. And I think this is the most important poll that we're looking at. So we looked at the economy, we looked at inflation, we looked at immigration. But when it comes to how people are feeling about the direction of the country, are we moving in the right direction or are we moving in the wrong direction? So looking at the spread right here, this is Real Clear Politics at the top, minus 12.5. So we have wrong track, 52.3%. We have right track, 39.8%. Let's look at some of the latest polling. So you have the Economist YouGov poll. This was conducted between 4/13 and 4/15, 1,329 registered voters. We have the right direction, 38%, wrong track, 52%. We have the spread there of minus 14. Looking at the Harvard-Harris poll, this was conducted between 4/9 and 4/10, 2,286 registered voters. Right direction, 39%. Wrong track, 49%. The spread there is minus 10. Looking at the Rasmussen report, we have, this was conducted between 4/6 and 4/10, 1,811 likely voters. Right direction, 43%. Wrong track, 51%. The spread there is minus 8. Looking at a couple more here, we have the Harris X poll. This was conducted between 4/4 and 4/7, and this was 1,883 registered voters. We have 39 right direction, 51 wrong direction. The spread there is minus 12. And just taking a snapshot of the different ones, and we'll just kind of wrap this up. You see here, we had some, and this was back in March. Yeah, so this was back in March. We had some pretty high numbers here. Minus 21, minus 10, minus 16, minus 9. And so now it looks like we're kind of leveling off, if you want to look at it that way. We had that minus 12, minus 8, minus 10, minus 14. So it looks like you had one outlier here, and this was the Reuters Ipsos poll. That was conducted between 3/31 and 4/2. So that was right before, or the day that President Trump announced that we were going to have these tariffs in place. And so the polling isn't going to reflect that because it was the same day. So most likely it didn't reflect it. But we do see some polling after that fact. 4/4, 4/7. So that was the Harris X poll and all the polls after that. So this is reflecting this whole tariff debate that we're looking at right now. And so that's where we are right now when it comes to the direction of the country, according to the polling. Okay, so you have people out there that are saying that they think we're going in the wrong direction. And so we'll have to see what happens in the future. Next Monday, we'll be back. We'll talk a little bit more about polling. And if you guys have any other questions, any comments, any concerns, make sure you post it in the comments below. You can also send me an email, david@thetecshow.com. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.